Afternoon, everyone. My sermon title is Collective Goodness. Let's read two Bible verses I picked for the reference of collective goodness. They illustrate that human society is like a body, where every part is essential and serves each other. God gave gifts and talents to each one to be used to serve humanity. The first one is Romans 12:4-5. For just as each of us has one body with many members, and these members do not all have the same function, so in Christ we, through many, form one body, and each one member belongs to all the others. The second one is 1 Corinthians 12:20-25. As it is, there are many parts, but one body. The eye cannot say to the hand, I don't need you. And the head cannot say to the feet, I don't need you. On the contrary, those parts of the body that seem to be weaker are indispensable, and the parts that we think are less honorable, we treat with special honor. And the parts that are unpresentable are treated with special modesty, while our presentable parts need no special treatment. But God has put the body together, giving greater honor to the parts that lacked it, so that there should be no division in the body, but that its parts should have equal concern for each other. As I mentioned, these verses tell us that human society is like one body, in which every part is needed, and all the parts exist to serve one another, and God gave gifts and talents to each one to be used to serve the humanity. What does the term collective remind those who learned the divine principle? It may be collective sin. What does the divine principle tell about collective sin? It is the sin for which a person is responsible as a member of a group. Humanity as a whole has had to walk a path of tribulation until the second coming of Christ. According to the divine principle, humanity needs to go through suffering until the second coming of Christ due to collective sin. Then, what will happen after the second coming of Christ? What is the opposite of tribulation? Delight, good luck, happiness, and joy are listed as the opposite words of tribulation. After the second coming of Christ, humanity can walk a path of joy and happiness instead of tribulation. How can the path of joy and happiness be achieved? When you learned about hereditary and collective sins, did you think it was unfair to be responsible for sins we don't commit? I did. Think about for children. If in your class, one of your classmates did wrongdoing and teacher punished, such as no recess, how do you feel?
Unfair.
Do you feel teacher is unfair?
Yes.
Did God create humanity to suffer from collective sin? How do you think? I think God's plan was to make humanity enjoy the paths of joy and happiness through collective goodness. For example, in your classroom, somebody did good thing, and teacher gave treat to everybody in the class. Like teacher gave donuts because one of the classmates achieved a very good grade.
Yes.
Do you happy?
Yes.
God is like that. God is trying to give treat to all humanity through the people's goodness. So collective goodness is a concept that can refer to the idea of working together for the benefit of a group, or to the idea of doing what is good for humanity. I'd like to share a story telling the power of collective effort, which we learned at Sunday school. The title of the story is The Gigantic Turnip, or Enormous Turnip. Have you ever heard the story?
No.
It is a Russian and Ukrainian fairy tale, but widely recognized and familiar. I recall it being included in my Japanese reading class textbook during elementary school. Kojin said he has the book in his home. The narrative is straightforward. An elderly man planted turnip seeds, and one of them grew to an enormous size. His family collaborated in their efforts to uproot the giant turnip. Let us read the story. On a Russian farm, a grandfather lived with his wife, 4 children, and 16 grandchildren. The youngest was a baby. The turnip in the garden were ready to be harvested, but grandfather struggled to pull out a particularly stubborn one, the big one. The grandmother came to the garden and put her arms around grandfather's waist. They pulled and pulled, but they could not get the turnip out the ground. Even with all children and their spouses pulling, they could not get the turnip out of the ground. The 15 grandchildren lined up, tallest to shortest, and the 4 family pulled and pulled, but they could not get the turnip out of the ground. The grandfather noticed that someone is still missing. He went over the baby grandchild, who was lying on a blanket, and gently removed the rattle from the baby's hand. He tied a rope around the smallest grandchild's waist and put the other end of the rope in the infant's tiny fist. The 4 family lined up again by height. They pulled and pulled, but they could not get the turnip out of the ground. One more time, said the grandfather, pour. They poured and poured. To see them, the baby laughed and roared and tugged on the rope. The turnip came out of the ground. It popped out so fast, the whole family fell down like a row of dominoes. That is one strong baby. They all laughed. That's the strength of a family, said the grandfather. The moral of the story is unity in teamwork, an unexpected hero. The family worked together to pull out the turnip, demonstrating collaboration. The baby succeeded in pulling out the enormous turnip, indicating that success can come from unexpected sources and individuals. Isn't it a nice story?
Yes. Yeah.
Next, I would like to share our family's experiences during the holiday season. Our family had a trip to Japan. In Kyoto, the Fushimi Inari shrine made me realize the value of collective effort. It is a popular spot for tourists due to its mysterious and photogenic scenery. Dedicated to Inari, the deity of harvest and business success, Fushimi Inari Shrine is the head of all Inari shrines in Japan. The vibrant orange torii gate leading to Mount Inari offer an impressive view and are one of Japan's iconic images. Known as the 1000 Tree Gate Path, it actually features around 10,000 gates. A torii gate marks the transition from the secular to the sacred. You may wonder who built so many tree gates and why. As you can see from the picture, the business or individual donor's name is engraved on each torii gate. The Shrine's Faith community believes that donating a torii gate makes their wishes come true. And if they do, they donate larger gates. The 1000 tree gates are the result of this collective faith and good deeds. Tourists are enjoying the photogenic and mysterious scenery created by this collective goodness. Two parents started the construction of Cheonilguk, focusing on the champion holy ground in Korea. Who can complete their initiative? The completion of their initiative can be achieved by the collective faith and good deeds of the faith community. Although often misunderstood by society, I believe that people will eventually recognize and appreciate the outcomes of our faith community's collective goodness. Single small torii gate along with the other 9,999 torii gate can impress the visitors of the shrines. An infant along with the other family members can pull the gigantic turnip out from the ground. God created each one of us to do good deeds and make the collective goodness benefit all humanity. Two incidents remind me that time to serve two parents on the earth is limited. My mother-in-law broke her back and suffered extreme pain. When we visited her at the hospital in December, she looked so weak. Fortunately, she is now recovering well. During our Japan trip, we spent some time with my mother. She gave me some of her jewelry for our granddaughters, for our daughters, for her granddaughters, as a distribution of mementos. Do you know? Do you know the word mementos? I didn't know the word. My mother gave the jewelry as she said it's a katamiwake. It's in Japanese. And I checked the Japanese English dictionary, and katami is mementos. And one of her mementos is a diamond ring my father gave to my mother. The story reminds me that two mother gave her wedding ring to a member. Just a moment. Sorry, I messed up my papers. Just a moment. Always. Yeah, anyway, we hear the story. Two parents give away their stuff to members, and I didn't think deeply about the story, and now I realize that maybe their distribution of their mementos to give memory and connection to the members. And so it was more than 10 years since I went back to Japan and see my mom. It's over 10 years. My mom looked good, but when the day we live in Japan, at the moment when we are about to leave her home, she suddenly felt sick, and she was lying down when we say goodbye to her. And so I realized my mother's getting older, and time of the time for us to spend with my mother's limited. It's not forever. And two mother is 2 years older than my mother-in-law and 4 years older than my mother. So I realized our time with True Mother is also limited. It's not forever. There's a saying, when we feel to serve our parents, parents are not on this earth. So this saying is telling us to serve our parents while they are on this earth. So our conclusion of today's sermon is, number one, each of our faith community members is precious and unique. Anyone can contribute and be an unexpected hero to build Cheonryuk. Some of, especially our children, may feel there's no place for them to be in our movement, but that's not the case. We need everyone, and everyone can be a hero, an unexpected hero to build Cheonryuk. And we are connected to two parents. All of us receive the best memento from two parents. What is that? It is the blessing. And our second generation is the fruit of blessing. So we are all connected to two parents. Number three, let us cherish our time with two parents and each other. And our collective goodness will eventually benefit humanity. Let us pray. Dear Heavenly Parent, thank you for this time for us to gather together and cherish each other. We are so precious in the eye of God and two parents. Even though sometimes we feel there's no place for us, but Heavenly Parent, you need each one of us, and you gave each one of us special talent and gift, and everybody can be a hero to build Cheonryuk. And sometimes we feel what we are doing is very small and nothing to do with your great work, your great providence. But Heavenly Parent, you are taking each one of us, our small contribution as collective goodness, and you are trying to use that collective goodness to benefit all humanity. Heavenly Parent, our society misunderstood our movement, and they sometimes persecute us. But Heavenly Parent, eventually they will recognize and appreciate our effort. And True Mother is trying to show that to all humanity, our great effort to all humanity. So let us keep doing what we can do at this moment. Thank you, Heavenly Parent. I'd like to offer everything in the name of members gathered here at you.
One, two.
Thank you.